near West Boulevard and Old Steel Creek Road. We reached out to police and medic to find out more information. We've yet to hear back. We'll let you know.
A rezoning proposal to transform farmland in Statesville is moving forward. A massive 5-building data center will be located along Stamey Farm Road. Despite many neighbors speaking against this proposal, the planning board approved it. Supporters say it's less impact than homes or trucks. Opponents say it sacrifices too much. The council takes up the rezoning request on September 15th.
Busy Labor Day weekend coming up with summer travel wrapping up. Charlotte Douglas bracing for big crowds. Airport leaders expect some 850,000 passengers to fly between this Thursday and next Tuesday. And while you should plan to arrive early, we also want to remind you that you can check parking, security, and shuttle wait times on the Charlotte Douglas app.
And turning into a busy Wednesday morning commute, live look outside from 77 at Atondo. One of the slow spots there, as well as 85 northbound over towards Gaston County. Look, here's all the incidents out there. Definitely allow yourself plenty of extra time as you head out the door, including this crash impacting Kenilworth Avenue at the intersection of Charlottetown. Chris?
All right, check this out. Oh, that is a beautiful shot over on our Monroe camera, looking in the upper right there. And the sunrise time, we've officially done it. So the sun is now up for the day. And today's my pick of the week. It's going to be gorgeous. That cloud cover you're just looking at, it'll be gone before you know it. And then we'll see some increasing clouds later on today through the overnight. That's going to lead to a mostly cloudy tomorrow. More sunshine, the mid 80s on Friday, and then lower 80s pretty much for the rest of that 7-day.
A reminder, the news doesn't end here. Coming up at 7 over on WCNC Plus. Hear from Charlotte leaders calling for change amid the recent rise in violent crime. Plus, college campuses on high alert after several active shooter fake threats. Steps North Carolina schools are taking, and CMS leaders working to fight chronic absenteeism. That's all coming your way.
That's at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus. Join us.
streaming live right now at 7 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. A live look at Lake Norman on this Wednesday morning. Look at that pretty cool shot there. It is a cool start to the day, and it's looking like this weather's going to be sticking around at least for a little while. Chris has our hump day forecast.
Hump day, here we go. The sunrise time was at 6:53, but I still want to show you our sunrise cams. Check it out. The upper right there is the winner of the sunrise off, and that is actually pointing a little bit more towards the northeast from our Monroe camera. Absolutely sensational. And even a nice little pink hue from on top of our WCNC building pointing towards the Queen City. August 27th starting off brilliantly. We had a lot more cloud cover not too long ago, but we're already starting to decrease that cloud cover. At one point, you should have wall-to-wall sunshine, not even a cloud in the sky. And look at this. We officially dropped down to 60 degrees for the Charlotte area, 55 in Lincolnton, 57 in Concord. This is the coldest morning that we've had in months going forward. Actually, we haven't been this cool since June around the Charlotte area. And if we drop down to the upper 50s today or tomorrow, that would be the first time since late May, incredibly. And we have a muggy meter that is also really low for this time of year. These are more typical values for what happens in October compared to what we have this time of the year. So enjoy the break while we have it. Today's forecast, high of 81. Yesterday was at 82. And then I think we have a solid chunk of hours really through the middle of the day, late morning, early afternoon, that we have nothing but sunshine. But we'll pick up more clouds to end the day. Upper level followed by those fair weather cumulus clouds. And then we should have a mostly cloudy overcast sky heading through the overnight. But today is the pick of the week. It's already looking sensational for the sunrise, the beginning of the day, and that sunshine is winning its top spot. I want to talk about the moon. I think this is pretty cool. Maybe it's just me, but I'm still going to share it. Where waxing crescent is actually going to be up more so during the day compared to the overnight, because the moon rises and sets just like the sun. The sun's a little bit more predictable, of course, but the moonrise is actually at 11 o'clock today, and it sets at 10 p.m. So that means heading into the evening hours, it's going to be at the best site, starting to set in the west-southwest. It should be pretty gorgeous, but the clouds will take over after that, and the moon will already be set at that point. From 11 o'clock to 4, expect a mostly cloudy sky, and then temperatures dropping down into the lower 60s. Venus is going to be visible right around sunrise. However, the cloud cover might take that away from you. Our futurecast showing that the cloud cover that we're looking at right now, whoosh, disappearing like Houdini. But then more clouds will start to evolve later on in the day. And then here's that overcast sky that I was talking about to the mostly cloudy status through your Thursday. That's sticking around for most of the day. So definitely more clouds and sunshine by far for your Thursday. At times, just a cloudy day, but still a mild day with those winds starting to shift a little bit, driving in some of that warmer air. And then for your Friday, I think we actually have more sunshine, but it will start to feel a little bit more on the stickier side. Yesterday at this point, I had a chance for rain on Friday, but I removed that. I took a big step back. I don't think we have any rain for the Charlotte area. And then Saturday and Sunday look to be the best chances for showers and storms. Sadly, just in time for our holiday weekend. And then Monday, we're going to have an isolated shower as well. So good into our 7-day forecast. We have the lower 80s, mid 80s on Friday. 84, surprisingly, is the warmest day that I have over the next 7. The average is 87, lows at 68. Well, both our highs and our lows are all well below normal over the next 7. We officially start September on Monday, Labor Day, and then beyond that, we should have some sunshine and the beginning of another warm-up closer to the normal the middle of next week. That's your weather report. Let's get our first check of traffic here on WCNC Plus with Becca Birdsall.
It's looking and feeling nice outside. If you're hitting the road from Mooresville, this is I-77 over towards Griffith Street just before you hit the Lake Norman area, and no issues both those north and southbound lanes. Here's big picture in the greater Charlotte area. A little bit of red indicating some slowdowns in the usual spots. It is 85 northbound over towards Gastonia. Also the inner lip of I-45 towards Matthews Mid-Hill area. We got several incidents out there. Want to take you to this one. This is in southern Gaston County where we do have that serious crash that does involve a pedestrian. That has blocked portions of Union Road at Patrick Road. Definitely an area that you'll want to avoid. In addition, got a couple of new incidents out there, including this one towards East Charlotte, Westchester Boulevard at Independence, and then a little bit further off to the east, this one in Albemarle Road at Central Ave, causing a stretch of delays there. Still of this crash, do have an image of it. This is westbound Tuckasegee Road, impacting that intersection at Edgewood, causing quite the stretch of delays. And then this one just outside of Uptown, Kenilworth Ave at Charlottetown Avenue. This is in the intersection, causing delays in all directions.
7:05 now. We start with a breaking news update. One person fighting for their life after a shooting in West Charlotte overnight. This is a look at the scene on Denview Lane near West Boulevard and Old Steel Creek Road. Medic says one person was taken to Atrium CMC with life-threatening injuries. Incidents like that are just the latest in a string of violent crimes around Charlotte, sparking safety concerns from neighbors. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live this morning to explain how city leaders plan to take action before more people lose trust in the system. Richard.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Lisa. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. People in Charlotte are concerned, especially when they go and take light rail or any of the mass transit systems here that we should say CAT systems. And if they're not confident in that system, that may affect them when it comes time for that vote coming up later this year. A recent string of violent crimes in Charlotte, including that fatal stabbing on the CAT's light rail, has residents on edge. Charlotte leaders now demanding some answers. The city council calls for an urgent action plan from its manager after another violent crime on the CAT system. Police say 23-year-old Araz Zurowski was found dead, fatally stabbed Friday night at the Blue Line station on Camden Road in South End. Investigators charging 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown, with first-degree murder. Police say the two did not know each other. This deadly stabbing comes as concern about rider safety continued to grow at Monday night's council meeting over violent crimes. They discussed those issues. Leaders say these incidents are highlighting the need for stronger security measures across their transit system. Council members are also pressing city staff for a clear path to address safety on buses, trains, and at stations before public confidence erodes any further.
Clearly, our current safety policies are not enough. And with the referendum this November, I'm even more concerned because we cannot let fear drive people away.
The moment that the transit system starts to become something where it's not considered to be safe is the moment in which you begin to lose riders, you begin to lose the momentum that you want to keep. And I don't want to see our community, I know our council doesn't want to see that as well too.
Peacock saying that a lot of folks need to have confidence in the system, especially if they're going to have that referendum, if they want to get that referendum, that 1-cent sales tax referendum approved this fall. Of course, this is something we'll continue to follow. For police's part, they say they continue to investigate all of these incidents on the light rail system. We're right here in Charlotte. Richard Devane, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Richard, thanks so much for that report. Now, keeping with public safety, the mayor of Charlotte, in fact, is joining those council members demanding answers after 23-year-old Irina Zaritska was stabbed to death on the light rail in South End. Mayor Lau saying, in part, tragic incidents like these should force us to look at what we are doing across our community to address root causes, adding that while there are questions about the safety and security of the transit system in Charlotte, there has been significant and sustained efforts to address those concerns.
Right now, the city of Charlotte is starting its search for the next chief of police, and they want to hear from you. Officials asking the public to take a short survey and share what qualities and priorities you want to see in the next chief. The survey open through Friday, September 5th. You can find the link to that on our WCNC Charlotte app. I just want to say, between the chief stuff and Richard stuff and the woman stabbed to death on light rail, I mean, the chief of police is going to have his hands or her hands full coming in, because something like that happening on a Friday night in Charlotte on light rail in a populated part of town cannot continue. And city leaders are going to have to say more than they've already said, and police are going to have to do more as well.
Especially when you're talking about transportation being a major issue. We know a lot of people use light rail, and as you said, on a Friday night in an area like that, a lot of questions there. All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, but keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. now 7:11. Right now, Charlotte Douglas is bracing for big crowds this Labor Day weekend. Airport leaders expect some 850,000 passengers to fly through the airport between this Thursday and next Tuesday. Now, while you should plan to arrive early, you can also check the parking, security, and shuttle wait times on the Charlotte Douglas app. Speaking of travel, a scary situation as a jet bridge at Santa Barbara Airport collapses. Take a look at this. It happened during routine maintenance, so no passengers were on it, thank goodness. However, at least 2 maintenance workers had minor injuries and were taken to the hospital. The cause of that collapse is not known. The incident did not impact travel.
Authorities in California say they've cracked the largest Home Depot theft case in the country. Take a look at some of this video. Some of the alleged suspects right in the middle of one of their heists. The sheriff there arrested 9 people. They're accused of hitting 600 Home Depot stores across Southern California. These guys were bold. The sheriff says at times they'd hit every Home Depot in the county in one day. The sheriff says they stole merchandise, then sold it to contractors for lower prices.
It wasn't just grabbing random items. They were highly organized and targeting Home Depot and focusing on expensive electrical components like breakers, dimmers, switches, and outlets. The total loss for this operation, over $10 million.
$10 million.
Wow.
Detectives have been on the case since January, but they say the thefts have been going on for years.
Universities across North Carolina are on alert after a series of active shooter hoaxes on campuses across the country. Now, so far, these false reports have created real panic at more than a half-dozen schools.
North Carolina colleges have been working to improve campus security for years now, but even fake reports can lead to real dangers. Carly Haynes explains.
As millions returned to campus this month, at least 5 universities saw false active shooter calls, many of them hoaxes.
It could have happened anywhere. It could have happened on any campus. The impact is real, even though the message might be fake.
UNC students know the response. Almost exactly 2 years ago, a campus shooting killed a faculty member.
These events happen for real so often that many college students are surely mentally trying to prepare themselves for something like that.
Since then, UNC updated its emergency plan. It's made Alert Carolina messages more clear, enforced response training for staff, and put together a threat assessment unit. Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker says real danger or not, the response is the same.
And we just can't afford to not respond when that type of, when the swatting happens, because you really, in the initial stages of it, it's very hard to tell the difference.
Artificial intelligence, where a caller can spoof a real person's voice, and social media contribute to the illegal swatting trend.
They just feel more bold. They're emboldened as they sit behind their computer and do these sort of things.
It's a difficult challenge for a university's resources, responding to all calls to keep students safe.
Those folks found guilty of making those kinds of fake reports can end up in prison with a sentence that could last several years.
Keep it right here. Chris has the latest on your Wednesday weather in just 2 minutes.
7:17 right now on WCNC Plus, and today marks exactly 11 months since Hurricane Helene slammed western North Carolina. And this morning, we're giving you a closer look at the progress that's being made there. WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris rode along with NCDOT and joins us from Chimney Rock with more.
Nearly a year after Hurricane Helene left its devastating impact throughout many parts of western North Carolina, the NCDOT continues its work into building new paths of normalcy.
This is an area that was only reachable by foot.
For parts like Chimney Rock and Bat Cave, roadways weren't a guarantee following Helene, but a $250 million project with NCDOT is changing that.
Eventually building to what we have today, and you see off behind me and to the right, a 2-lane temporary paved road that can serve this community so folks can go to the grocery store, go to doctor's appointments, and get back to some sense of normalcy as they start to rebuild.
This week, the department announced they're moving into the next phase of that project.
We're working towards permanent designs for the roadway. Again, we're standing on what was the old roadway and what will be the permanent again. The alignment of the permanent roadway will basically be the same as it was prior to the storm.
The work in progress that's been made is reflecting on the community, building normalcy one roadway at a time.
We can see the progress slowly. A lot of people that come down here, they look around and they're devastated. Some tear up, and I'm like, look, it looks a lot better.
Work on the permanent roadway is expected to begin at the end of this year with the hope to be completed in 2 to 3 years. In Chimney Rock, I'm Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
Well, good morning, everyone. Well, we have an approaching date anniversary on the way. I think we all know this hurricane, Hurricane Katrina. Of course, here in the Carolinas, we are forever going to remember Helene, but officially made landfall in Louisiana August 29th. But it was just days prior that it actually made its first landfall in southern Florida. Actually, the connection that I have to this is it was my first year of college. So I was down in Florida actually at the point. And then my friends decided me to go surfing for the first time with a longboard. It was over on this side. Didn't really end well, but hey, I'm still here. Everything is just fine. This is a major hurricane status, and it even reached Category 5. But even though Katrina is one of the 43 storms to reach Category 5 strength, it made landfall as a Category 3. Actually, only 4 known storms have made landfall as a Cat 5. And our tropical storm Fernan, continues to push its way further off towards the north and east. I wasn't sure if it was going to try to drop down to tropical depression status, but it looks like at least for the next day or so, the water is surprisingly warm enough in the northern Atlantic to still keep it going, but we're almost saying goodbye to this storm. Not an issue for anyone else. We did have this one little wave that was right here around the Lesser Antilles just a day ago. That has now since dissipated, so a 0% chance for development for any other wave in the near term, and we are getting closer and closer to that peak of hurricane season, but realistically, it's August 20th till October 10th that we have the most activity per year. Our rainfall for August has been all over the place, and that's one of the main reasons why we were so cool. We actually had 8 straight days to start off the month that there was some sort of measurable rainfall. Of course, the 5th takes the cake because it was over 2.5 inches of rain. Had some flash flooding that day, but we've had a lot more wet days compared to dry ones that we have, so it is going to be nice to dry out to pretty much end the month, but boy, do we have a surplus. Overall, the 22nd wettest August on record with just a slight chance for rain by the end of the weekend. Departure over 3.8 inches above where we should be. Yikes for this time of the month. So thank goodness we had a chance to dry out a little bit. I mowed the lawn yesterday and there weren't just clumps of wet grass. It was nice. Isolated storm chances for your Saturday. We'll keep that around for your Saturday night. And then Sunday, scattered rain. Looks like Sunday is the best chance for showers and storms and some additional cloud cover. Actually coming up over the next half hour here on WCNC Plus, I have our long range models. So I'm going to give you a better look at what's happening exactly this weekend if you have any plans heading into your Labor Day. But let's get back to the now. How does your morning commute look? I know just the person to ask. We have Becca Birdsall joining us this morning.
All right, it's busy out there, especially over towards York County as drivers head inbound from York to Mecklenburg County. So those northbound lanes packed with traffic, looking a lot better on those southbound lanes. But of course, want to start with the good news. That crash just outside of Uptown has cleared, was causing delays in all directions. That was at the intersection of Kenilworth at Charlottetown. Don't have to worry about that for your morning commute. Do have to worry about the traffic on 85 northbound in Gastonia. Also 77 northbound coming from York inbound into Mecklenburg County. Do have a couple of new incidents out there, including this one. This is a crash being reported on Pineville Matthews Road at Hugh Forest Road. Lots of delays associated with that. Further up north in Charlotte, Brown Road at Fox Glen Road. Do have a crash being reported there. And then further down to the south, this one at Nations Ford Road at Tyvola. Drive safe.
Hi, this is Ray Sprinkle. Time for a tiny town. It takes us to the North Carolina mountains, and it's Seven Devils, North Carolina, not too far from Banner Elk and Sugar Mountain, straddling two different counties. Now, this is the way it looks right now up at Seven Devils. Most people like it in the middle of winter because it's a home of Hawks Nest. Seven Devils, North Carolina, right there at Watauga and Avery County, right on the border. Population 313 square miles, a little over 2 square miles. Seven Devils, North Carolina. That's the way it looks in the middle of winter. Very famous for tubing at Hawks Nest. If you ever have a chance to go there, discover our positive altitude. That's the motto. By the way, the name Seven Devils, there's a lot of myths and rumors about it. 7 men from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, actually started the community back in the mid-60s. So maybe it's named after those 7 guys. Seven Devils, that's our tiny town. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
Thanks, Larry. Well, this may be the top trending story of the year. Taylor Swift is getting married. Check it out. The music icon got engaged to her longtime boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. She posted the announcement on social media yesterday. That news had just about everyone talking. More than 5 million views on Google Trends. It even shut down Instagram for a minute.
Oh, my goodness.
This was the story.
I want to know the story behind it, because
you're looking at that beautiful garden with all those flowers, and you're like, she had to know this was going to be it.
This doesn't look like this was an impromptu thing. This looks like this was designed specifically for proposing to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that definitely looks planned to me. I mean, it is breathtakingly beautiful.
Like you would just casually walk into there and she just thinks they're there.
Nothing's going to happen now.
I mean, come on. I mean, like, come on. But I mean, of course.
This is what you happen when you propose to Taylor Swift.
Very happy for the couple.
For sure.
All right, let's go to live pictures right now. Take a look at this. Just a gorgeous sunrise.
Also breathtakingly beautiful.
That's right. Even has Taylor Swift beat. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another check of weather and traffic coming your way next.
Good morning, everyone. It's a chilly start of the day. Check this out. 60 degrees right now around Charlotte, and then many of us in the 50s, 53 right around Salisbury, 50 degrees on the nose in Morganton, then 43 right around the Boone area. Yet again, we have the not humid seal of approval. Feeling absolutely amazing and absolutely great to start off the day. Now, of course, we are distant from our sunrise, but check it out. Look at that beautiful sky in the upper right. That's our Monroe camera showing how beautiful it is outside. So welcome to the pick of the week, y'all. At one point, we're going to have wall-to-wall sunshine, and then those clouds will build late day heading through the overnight, leading to a cloudier day for your Thursday, still rocking the lower 80s. We have 84 with more sunshine for your Friday. I removed the rain chance there. And then we see a better chance for scattered showers and storms, especially if you live in South Carolina on Saturday. Again, on Sunday, drying out the middle of next week, still rocking the lower 80s. Let's get over to Becca. What's going on?
Lots of red on the traffic map, so allow plenty of extra time as you hit the roads this morning. Seeing those reds, especially 85 northbound over towards Gastonia, but also towards the inner loop of I-45 right near the Matthews-Mint Hill area. Here are all the active incidents we have across the greater Charlotte area. I want to let you know of this one over towards southern Gaston County. This is a serious crash involving a pedestrian. Highway 274, that's Union Road and Patrick Road, currently blocked.
We're streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. This morning, new literacy data is in the spotlight for CMS leaders, specifically how things are going for kindergarten through second graders.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning with the recent findings and why one of the district's more concerning metrics has nothing to do with the pages of a book. Destiny.
Yeah, CMS leaders are saying more students in those early grade levels are on track when it comes to reading, but they did point out that progress in this area is really going to depend on a key factor, and that is attendance in schools, actually having students show up to class each day. Now, Superintendent Dr. Crystal Hill, she shared this new literacy data, which shows 72% of CMS kindergarten through second grade students were at or above reading benchmark last school year. That's a 5-point increase compared to 2 years ago. Kindergartners reached 77% and first graders 72%, both just shy of district targets. Second graders finished at 69%, missing their goal by only 1 percentage point. CMS board members say the upward trend is encouraging, with opportunities for growth still ahead.
Anything in literacy, there's always improvement, with word fluency and things of that nature. I think our team's doing a good job of identifying the areas that need to be improved.
Yeah, but again, chronic absenteeism is a problem they say they're seeing. They believe it's standing in the way of stronger results because students that aren't showing up to class, it's a lot harder for them to catch up. But they say they want to work directly with families to possibly remove any barriers there may be to attendance. I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
And so, Destiny, we know this is the third day now for CMS students, so it sounds like they're trying to address this early into the school year. How do you think they will go about doing that?
Yeah, they said that they really want to do at-home visits and also identify students who are at risk early on for those absentee numbers, whether they were missing class in previous school years and it might continue again depending on their home situation. Another thing that they want to point out is that this is a direct impact on these literacy numbers. Kindergarten through second grade is a very important time for literacy. They believe that it affects success later on in their school careers. So this is why they are making that connection, and they really want to attack this early on.
I have a second grader, so I do know the importance of getting them to read. All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that.
Yeah, speaking of it, this time yesterday, some CMS students had a little trouble getting on the bus, and behind the scenes here, it was a bit of a concern as well. An event some might call. Your kids had some issues yesterday.
Yeah, so obviously I had to rush out and leave you alone on the stream because I had to make sure they got to school. But I'm happy to report it seems that things are going much better today. Of course, I still have the phone tracking them and the bus notifications. So one is on the way and we're waiting for another notification. But it sounds like they are aware of the issues, just making sure the students know the buses are coming, they're going to get them there. Just a little patience. They're still figuring it all out. But
working
all
out the
is
kinks.
well. Working out the kinks.
Day 3 of the school year. All right.
Yes.
Let's turn now to your forecast. Chris standing by with what he considers the pick of the week.
Yeah, again, this is just my opinion, only mine alone, but many of us might agree that day of sunshine and temperatures in the lower 80s, the best feeling day, is going to check all the boxes for pick of the week. However, honorable mention, I never do that. Friday, a little bit warmer, just a little bit more humid. Now, your cool morning is among us. This is the coolest low that we've actually had here in Charlotte since June. And tomorrow we're gonna have more clouds, similar highs, and actually near similar lows. And then our weekend is looking like on and off rain. Now, it's more off than on, just letting you know. High of 81 degrees for today. Should have a beautiful afternoon. I really think it's late afternoon, or late morning heading into the middle of the afternoon. You're gonna have the most ample sunshine, temperatures getting in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. I've shown this a bunch on and off throughout this morning because it has the not humid stamp of approval, and this is a very rare range. So looking at the average dew points for this time of the season, this is not what we characteristically have. This is actually more of an October range going into late September compared to where we should be this time of the year. And hey, I'm not complaining. Let's talk about the how you feel cast though. This is astronomically low, as I mentioned, so we're in that oh so nice range. And then it's still below that 60-degree point, I think, for tomorrow, but it starts feeling stickier on Friday, and then again on Saturday, we're actually closer to that uncomfortable threshold, so you're gonna be feeling the moisture in the air yet again. That's one reason why we have a shower and thunderstorm potential for this coming weekend. That's that Saturday and Sunday going forward. So as I mentioned, I wanted to show you more of a longer range forecast. Now bear with me here, because oftentimes whenever you have long range data, it's chunky, meaning that it doesn't really show a lot of details. Here's Friday at 3 a.m. This is the main reason why I removed the rain chances, because everything pretty much dove down to the south. In general, if you live in South Carolina, you have the best chance for rain. So even counties such as York and Chester County, I would not be surprised if you do have a overnight rain shower or even a morning rain shower on Saturdays. You see some green starting to creep in. Notice Saturday, this starts to roll in. So this looks a lot more serious and widespread than it really is. I think this really just shows a nearby proximity of a low and a front that's nearby that's going to be allowing for some bands of rain and even a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Same thing goes for your Sunday, but then watch what happens for your Monday. That system's still mainly staying to the south, so I think that's a better chance for South Carolina yet again. So your Labor Day weekend, We'll have some rain. As of right now, it does look like both Saturday and Sunday will have isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms. Right now, it does look like Saturday is the better chance for a thunderstorm in general, and Monday is a better chance of staying dry as a lot of that cloud cover is getting out of there as well, especially later on in the day as that system starts to pull aside. By next Tuesday, for one, the Charlotte Knights are back in town. Get your tickets because guess what? Season's winding down, believe it or not. It's 82 degrees with sunshine, very similar day to what we have today. And then we should actually warm up back to the average of 87. But of course, at that point, heading into day 5 of September, our new average would be around 85, 86. Let's get over to Becca to see if anything's changed for our morning commute. Has anything changed?
More cars. That is what's changed. And you can see that, especially over towards South Charlotte. Live look outside from 77 at Nations Ford Road. It is always slow moving on those northbound lanes this time of day. And it's basically a traffic jam from York County, the northern portion of it, getting into that southern half of Mecklenburg County. Also slow still 85 northbound Gaston County and the inner loop of I-45 over towards South Charlotte. Got lots of incidents out there. Want to take you to some that are causing the most delays, including this one crash on Westchester Boulevard at Independence. And then a little bit further off to the east, got this one, Albemarle Road at the intersection of Central. Still have this active incident. This is on outbound or westbound Tuckasegee Road at southbound Edgewood Road. You can see that crash is blocking the right-hand lane there. Back to you guys.
Becca, thanks so much. Approaching 7:38 now. In just a few hours, UNC Charlotte's athletic program is going to have a groundbreaking ceremony for the expansion at Jerry Richardson Stadium. Over the next few years, crews are going to add a brand new tower featuring premium seating, suites, and an indoor club and patio space. Now, this project is going to bring some changes to the game day experience. Gate 2, that's the main entrance off the stadium's south side, is going to be closed for much of the construction, and some of the tailgating spaces will be temporarily relocated. This morning's ceremony starts at 11.
We're back here in 2 minutes with folks in Statesville speaking out against the development of a new data center.
Empty storefronts are a familiar sight in rural parts of North Carolina. Now more than $1.8 million in new state grants aims to change that.
WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard shares why officials say it's an effort to seek solutions for smaller areas.
Empty buildings often sit silent in rural counties across North Carolina, but that silence could soon turn into the sound of opportunity. The North Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority just approved more than $1.8 million in grants, money designed to help rural communities bring old spaces back to life.
Yeah, a lot of businesses have left. There are a lot of empty buildings.
Gaston County is one of the counties that will receive funding. The plan is to open a second U.S. location for a global manufacturer, creating 95 jobs and pumping in $69 million.
People need jobs. Actually, people need to get out and work instead of sitting at home.
Anson County will also receive funding.
But Anson County hasn't kept up with a lot of the other growth in surrounding counties.
A family-owned meat processing company is moving in with plans to create 61 new jobs and invest nearly $5 million. Anson County's manager, Leonard Sossaman, says this will have a big impact on rural families.
We'll have some jobs, or more jobs, I should say, that make pretty good salaries, and we need a tax base.
Sossaman says this kind of investment could cause a ripple effect across small towns, impacting communities for years to come.
This helps us to at least start a toehold to start recruiting more industry.
Tradisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
This morning, plans are moving forward that would transform farmland in Statesville. Last night, neighbors packed City Hall, weighing in on a rezoning proposal for Stamey Farm Road. The plans call for a massive 5-building data center. Despite many people speaking against that proposal, the planning board approved it. Supporters call the plan a lighter impact than new homes or heavy truck traffic, while opponents say it sacrifices so much more.
You have the infrastructure here, the sewer, the power. Do it in the city limits where you already have all those resources. Don't mess up my front yard. Don't make my house be a cheap piece of and don't rip my child's childhood away. It's not right.
Statesville City Council takes up the rezoning request on September 15th.
Rock Hill City leaders showing off their plans to build a new museum and gallery honoring legendary artist Jim Shore. It's part of an ongoing effort to revitalize downtown and celebrate the acclaimed York County native. He's best known for his Christmas giftware designs and for working with big brands like Disney and Peanuts to create popular figurines. Shore says he's thrilled to bring the museum to Rock Hill.
There's nothing better than when I come back and I see the sign that says, "Welcome to South Carolina." That's what makes me happy, and that's why. And I want other people to come and experience that too. And to do the artwork here, and to display it here, and to have people come and invite them to come here and experience Rock Hill the way I know it can be experienced.
Leaders hope to have the museum open the second half of next year.
We'll keep it right here. Becca has the latest on the morning commute in just 2 minutes.
Well, this Friday marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, still the most destructive storm in U.S. history.
Today, the potential for an even worse hurricane is higher than ever because of climate change. Meteorologist Chase Kane covered Hurricane Katrina as it made landfall and takes a look at how storms have changed since then.
In just this small area of about 5 or 6 city blocks, there are right now about 19 or 20 deaths in just that small area.
That's me as a young reporter covering the most destructive hurricane in U.S. history. Katrina caused more than $200 billion in damage and killed nearly 1,400 people. And in the 2 decades since, our oceans have gotten even hotter as a result of burning oil and gas. This illustration shows how fast ocean temperatures are rising, nearly a full degree hotter since 2005, which is a big deal because heat is what fuels hurricanes.
And unfortunately, yes, there is more of that jet fuel that these systems, tropical cyclones, can tap into and lead to rapid intensification.
When a storm's winds increase 35 miles an hour in less than 24 hours, that's rapid intensification. And that's happening more often. But so is an even newer term, extreme rapid intensification.
But look at what Milton did, 92-mile-an-hour increase, and that is one of the hallmark signatures of what climate change is doing to hurricanes, Hallie.
A Climate Central analysis found that since Hurricane Katrina, extreme rapid intensification is happening nearly 50% more often.
And if that intensification occurs near land, it basically cuts off any lead time and leads to a community being, in many cases, unprepared.
And that's why investments in hurricane research are so important, helping forecasters at the National Hurricane Center keep pace with how an overheating planet makes storms more intense and wetter, too.
Every hurricane contains more moisture than it would have without climate change, and that means the rainfall associated is in every case stronger than it would have been. And so the flood damage from hurricanes is larger because of climate change.
Numerous studies show that link. Researchers found Hurricane Helene dumped 10% more rain because of climate change, 18% more rain from Hurricane Ian, and up to 36% more rain during Hurricane Harvey, likely flooding twice as many homes because of climate change. And looking back to Katrina, Climate Central found the water which fueled the storm was, even at the time, 5 times more likely to be that hot because of climate change. Fast forward to today, and the Gulf is even hotter.
Folks need to realize that the 21st century climate and the type of weather extremes that we're seeing in the 21st century climate are nothing like we've lived through before. People need to be ready for these extremes and think more often than not that if there's a chance for something bad happening, it's a much bigger chance than it was in the 20th century.
And for an even deeper dive into how climate change is cranking up the dial on hurricanes, check out episode 2 of our new series, Predictable, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm NBC meteorologist Chase Kane.
Well, we agree with all the above there, too. So we want to talk a little bit more about rapid intensification. And Becca, I wanted to bring you in because it wasn't too long ago. Was it even last week or just recently? You were talking about rapid intensification, and we have the top 5 list that you have here. And what do you know? We already have one on the list from 2025.
Yeah, there's actually a higher scale than rapid intensification, a term now referred to as extreme rapid intensification, which is basically a step up. So regular rapid intensification involves a tropical cyclone gaining strength in a 24-hour span about 35 miles per hour, but the extreme range is 58 miles per hour. So Aaron, if you remember, it was a Friday. It had barely strengthened to a Cat 1 hurricane, and then the next day, Saturday, max wind sustains at 160.
And I don't even see this name on the list, but 2024 also had Beryl that barreled into Category 5, and that was actually the second earliest one that we've had on record in July. And then you had Lee. I don't even really remember Lee, admittedly. That was a fish storm, I believe. So.
I am not quite sure on that one.
But just letting you know, but this is a good example that it doesn't really matter, because before, Becca, it really seemed like it was the Gulf or the Southern Caribbean that would have this. You're seeing this now in the Southern Atlantic, even almost, it seems like, parallel to the Carolinas that we're still seeing rapid intensification.
Yeah, one thing that I will add to it is Aaron, That's August 2025. All the other ones on the top 3 list were either October or September. I believe Milton was also October as well. So Aaron was the top fastest before September 1st. Something to
Well, September 10th is the exact peak of hurricane season, but it's really anywhere from August 20th to October 10th that we technically have the peak. But Becca, as we know, it can go much longer than that. Thank you so much for coming in. My rapid intensification expert over here. Becca's really good about keeping a bunch of stats and stuff like that, because the thing with rapid intensification, here's the initial definition that we were just going through. It's 35 miles per hour. It's tough to keep track of that. Literally, you have to go the 24-hour chunks on a lot of these storms historically to see how quickly they intensified, and they're not. So there it is. Okay, let's getting over to our local forecast. I'm happy to say there are no tropical waves. We do have Tropical Storm Fernan that's in the northern Atlantic, but our chances for rain are pretty much null and void in the near term. We're going to see a better chance a little bit later on, but it's going to be a pretty good looking day overall. Lots of sunshine going forward. I've actually been seeing some great examples in several of our cameras. It's just taking forever to load up right now, but let's go to some of our current temperatures. We're looking at anywhere from 60 to 62 degrees for our morning lows across the area. Much sunnier over in Monroe and in Boone. The main deck of clouds that we've been dealing with is actually directly over Charlotte. So we're just waiting on that cloud cover to clear, and then we're going to have a nice wall-to-wall sunshine type of scenario. So here's what that looks like. You have some clouds that are still sticking around through the middle of this morning, and then by about late morning, we should have nothing but sunshine. Now, by the mid to late afternoon, we're picking up a few more clouds, and it's even turning mostly cloudy through the overnight. So you're likely not really going to see too much through the overnight. There will be some clearing spots here and there, but believe it or not, even with the cloud cover, we still have a chance of dropping down into the lower 60s to the upper 50s. By the weekend, I know a lot of us are planning for your Labor Day. We have 83, 80, and 80. Now, all these days have a chance for rain, but I think it's especially highest on Saturday for thunderstorms, and it could be a little bit more widespread on Sunday. There's a lot of things that can change. Just yesterday, it looked like we could have a pop-up storm on Friday. I removed that because I don't think that's going to happen. And Monday's storm chances are also trending way down. Just kind of keep that in the know that if you have any plans this weekend, Labor Day is actually trending to be the best. And during these days, it's also going to be feeling a lot more humid as well. So let's get over to our 7-day forecast. Outside of Labor Day, when the kids are heading back to school, temperatures in the lower 80s, starting off in the upper 50s again with sunshine. And by day 8, 9, and 10 of the extended forecast, we should have a nice little warm up to the mid to even the upper 80s. That's your weather report. Let's get right over to Becca to talk about traffic this time.
All right, following a new active crash in Gaston County. This is over towards Gastonia, actually, on I-85 northbound. And this is a live view from our NCDOT 85 looking at Sam Wilson Road. You can see some of those flashing lights with those emergency vehicles on there and how slow moving it is. I actually want to show you the stretch of delay. So if you are headed from Gaston inbound into Mecklenburg County on 85 northbound, know that there is a crash blocking one lane of traffic. Got lots of red everywhere, especially over towards the inner loop of I-485 in South Charlotte. This is how many incidents we have. Some of the ones that I've been tracking for a while now is this one, that serious crash in southern Gaston County. This is still at Union Road at the intersection of Patrick. It does involve a pedestrian, and that road is completely blocked. In addition, still have this one, Pineville Matthews Road at the intersection of Hugh Forest Road, causing some delays there. And this one, South Charlotte Nations Ford Road at Tyvola Road, a little bit of yellow indicating some medium impacts. Will likely add a couple extra minutes to that morning drive.
Well, good morning, everyone. We were talking about rapid intensification over on WCNC Plus. Make sure to join us over there. But look at our low temperatures so far this morning. 55 degrees in Lincoln, 60 degrees right around Charlotte. Whew, it is actually a cool start to the morning. We should be in the upper 60s this time of year. By the afternoon, we have the mid to the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. Not a bad forecast whatsoever. As far as our rainfall chances, not much really going on in the near term. We have a dry atmosphere today. Tomorrow, a little bit cloudier. We removed our rain chances for Friday, but still isolated scattered storms are going to be a possibility heading into the weekend overall. So we are going to switch things up a little bit for the holiday weekend. Warmest day on the 7-day, 84 degrees, and then we're back to either side of 80 degrees on your Sunday and Monday before we start the warm up yet again the middle of next week. Should be nice and sunny, even another cool start next Tuesday, similar to today. Becca, what's going on for your morning commute?
All right, it's busy out there. More red than green on the traffic map. So if you are hitting the roads early this morning, definitely allow yourself plenty of extra time. Want to get to some of the ones causing the biggest delays, including this crash in Gaston County. This is on I-85 northbound at Beatty Drive. Currently, that center lane is blocked. We actually do have a live view from this, live view from Sam Wilson Road. You can see one lane of traffic is blocked off. In addition, got a couple other things on there, including this one, East Charlotte Central Ave at Albemarle Road. You are streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8 o'clock. I'm Lisa Washington. Right now, one person is fighting for their life after a shooting in West Charlotte overnight. Take a look at the scene on Denview Lane that's near West Boulevard and Old Steel Creek Road. Medic says one person was taken to Atrium CMC with life-threatening injuries. Incidents like that are just the latest in a string of violent crimes around Charlotte, sparking safety concerns from neighbors. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live this morning to explain how city leaders plan to take action before more people lose trust in the system. Richard.
Yeah, Lisa, good morning to you. A good Wednesday morning, everyone. And those city leaders you're talking about, they're particularly concerned about the transit system, CATS. When folks ride on this system, they want to feel safe. And they say they have to make sure that people feel safe because there's that upcoming sales tax referendum that they want them to support. Now, a recent string of violent crimes in Charlotte, including that fatal stabbing on the CATS light rail, has many residents in our area on edge. Now leaders demanding answers. The council is calling for an urgent action plan from its city manager after another violent crime on the CATS system. Police say 23-year-old Ira Zuruska was found dead Friday night after she had been fatally stabbed on the light Cat's Blue Line, I should say, on Camden Road and South End. Investigators charging 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown with first-degree murder, saying the two people did not know each other. The stabbing comes as concerns about rider safety continue to grow. Monday night's council meeting had the council members going over other incidents involving crimes on the transit system. Leaders say these incidents highlight the need for stronger security measures across CATS. Council members are now pressing city staff for a clear plan to address safeties on buses, trains, and at light rail stations before public confidence erodes any further.
Clearly, our current safety policies are not enough. And with the referendum this November, I'm even more concerned because we cannot let fear drive people away.
The moment that the transit system starts to become something where it's not considered to be safe is the moment in which you begin to lose riders, you begin to lose the momentum that you want to keep. And I don't want to see our community, I know our council doesn't want to see that as well too.
Yeah, they don't want to see that concerns grow to where people are not feeling safe on this transit system, because then what would happen with that upcoming vote this November for that 1-cent sales tax increase? Will voters support it? Well, that remains to be seen. But council says they're doing everything they can now to make sure that folks have a good feeling about this city's transit system. We're right here in the South End. Richard Devane. Lisa, we'll send it back to you.
And that's the thing, Richard. It's not saying that one crime takes precedence over another. It's just that where this happened, when it happened, and with this upcoming vote, that's why this one is really in the spotlight.
That is absolutely correct. The fact that it happened on a place that should be safe, on our light rail system, where just somebody, a 23-year-old woman, would just be stabbed by a homeless person, in this case somebody who had run-ins and a criminal history. That's not something you want to feel safe about or you want to deal with. Also, the fact that you hear of us reporting incidents on the CATS bus systems. We talk about different incidents, some more publicized than others, but when you hear all of these incidents in totality, it does not make you feel safe, and it doesn't make you feel confident in supporting that 1-cent sales tax if you're supporting something that doesn't make you feel safe enough to ride on it.
All right, Richard Devane, thanks so much. Thanks so much for that, Richard. All right, 8:04 now. Let's check back in with Chris to find out more about his pick of the week. Okay, he's just standing in his glory now because now we're starting to see why this is the pick of the week.
I told you, sometimes I start to doubt myself. Now, it is still cloudier around the Charlotte area, but look at that. Bob Ross will be proud of this portrait. This is gorgeous. Lots of sunshine, a few clouds further east that you go. Actually, I have wall-to-wall status up in Boone. It's chilly, though. 46 degrees, yikes. 64 degrees with sunnier skies around Monroe. Just dealing with some clouds around Charlotte. Those will be out of here before you know it. So as Lisa just mentioned, pick of the week status. Today, I was, of course, a little biased just because of how dry it is. So you might like Friday a little bit more because honestly, that was a close second. And Friday keeps on getting better and better. So pick of the week status, I picked Wednesday because of the sunshine and also because it feels great. It'll start to feel stickier once you get to your Friday. That's the only difference there. But again, this is my opinion alone, but many of you might agree with me. Either side of 60 degrees is where we're at, either from Hickory at 57 to 63 for Rock Hill in Charlotte. Same temperature in Lancaster and Sherrod. Monroe, you're the warm spot right now. And our afternoon forecast, staying dry. Ignore the green bar. That doesn't mean even a slight chance for rain. Sunshine throughout, but we will pick up some upper level clouds to end the day, and then eventually that could lead to more clouds and a mostly cloudy day tomorrow. Check out our high temperature trend. So we're going to go right now through our 10-10-10 forecast. Next time I talk to you, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the extended forecast for rain into the weekend and also your 7-day. But 84 looks to be the top in the near term. Then we're back to about 80 degrees for Labor Day, 81 on Sunday. And then 87s for the 4th and 5th of September. By that point, our average is actually going to be lower than that 87 that we have for today. So it actually will be our first above normal days in well over a week. And our lows are going to take another dip and try to get into the upper 50s. I actually rose tomorrow's lows. I think the cloud cover is going to be too much. 61 might even be a stretch because cloud cover is acting like a blanket, even though it might be like a childhood blanket with some holes in it. It still will keep things much warmer than otherwise a clear sky. But even this morning, we had some clouds and we still dropped down to 60 degrees. And then we'll see those lows also get back above normal by day 5 of September. As far as our best rain chances, it really looks to be your Saturday, Sunday, heading into Monday. That's going to have the best potential going forward. So as I mentioned, we are going to take a closer look at your rain chances. I'll show you your long range forecast models, what we are anticipating heading into your holiday weekend to help you prepare. But Becca's also here in studio to help you prepare for your morning commute. Becca, what's going on this morning?
Traffic still holding strong out there. One of the areas that we are seeing some slight improvements, at least in lightning traffic, is I-77 at Gold Hill Road. Not looking nearly as jam-packed with traffic as it was about 10-15 minutes ago. That being said, though, still lots of red everywhere you look on the traffic map. The biggest incident, the biggest slowdown is especially going to be over towards Gaston County with that center lane blocked due to this crash at 85 northbound at Beatty Drive. So an extensive stretch of delays. We can actually see it from this live view in CDOT. You can see that lane of traffic blocked and how it's impacting traffic. So definitely want to take Wilkinson Boulevard or your best alternate route to get around it. In addition, got about 10 to 15 active incidents across the greater Charlotte area, including this one. This is W.T. Harris Boulevard at Highway 24. A crash being reported there and a stretch of delays associated with it. Also, this new incident just popped up on the board. This is westbound Harris Boulevard at University Hospital Drive. You can actually see some emergency vehicles on the scene there, causing some delays. And then still have this crash westbound Tuckasegee Road at southbound Edgewood Road, blocking that right turn lane there.
Becca, thanks. Check this out. New York City-based ice cream shop Van Leeuwen is coming to Plaza Midwood. Now, it's known for its creative flavors and vegan options such as honeycomb and Earl Grey tea. The new location is set to open next Thursday. It's going to be on Commonwealth Avenue. Guests can get $1 scoops from the very wide menu. Plus, they're teaming up with a local baker for the grand opening. The Batch Maker in Wesley Heights is going to create a special cookie to top a sundae for opening day. Make sure you keep it right here. We're back in just 2 minutes. time is now 8:11. Right now, a Gastonia man is facing charges in a child sexual assault case. John Pittman is charged with 4 counts of statutory rape involving a child under the age of 15. The 45-year-old is being held on a $750,000 bond. Police aren't releasing more details, but ask anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to find a man wanted on several charges. This is 27-year-old Dakota Jenkins. He's wanted on at least 12 charges, including 5 felonies. Deputies say he ran from a traffic stop last Tuesday. If you know where he is, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. This morning, we continue our coverage on the ongoing issue with puppy mills. Last week, we shared that state officials shut down Charlotte's Happy Puppy Universe after discovering sales of sick puppies, some of which died. Some of those puppies reportedly came from puppy mills. Our team spoke with John Goodwin with Humane World for Animals on WCNC+. He described the harsh conditions inside mills and why he is determined to end them.
I think anybody that's ever had a dog and really, had a good relationship with their dog knows of the undying loyalty and just the pure love that a dog gives you. And then for us to turn around and put dogs in tiny cages and treat them like breeding machines and treat them like they're just agricultural commodities to pop out more puppies to sell, that's a betrayal. And so that bothers me.
You can learn more on how to fight against these facilities at Humane World for Animals website. You can also catch more in-depth conversations like this one right here on WCNC+. And tell your friends to download and stream for free. Well, a heads up for pet owners, a recall alert could affect your furry friend. Popular raw pet food brand Viva Raw is recalling some of its products, saying they could be contaminated with salmonella or listeria. The Charlotte-based company says the recall includes several beef, turkey, and chicken varieties. The food was sold nationwide between July 2nd and August 21st. Now, right now, there are no reported illnesses. If you have the product, you should throw it out and contact Viva Raw for a refund. This morning, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson is now warning legal action against payment giants like Visa and MasterCard. He says the companies continue to let AI-generated deepfake pornography sellers make money. Wilson says every payment they approve helps fuel abuse, targeting women and young girls with fake sexual images without consent. It's a goal backed by several other states, including North Carolina. Wilson says cutting off the money is the best way to fight this exploitation. Keep it right here. Chris has the latest on your Wednesday weather. That's coming up in just 2 minutes. unusually cool end to August could mean better hair days than the typical summer heat allows. WCNC Charlotte meteorologist Majestic Storm explains the science behind frizz and how lower humidity can lead to a great hair day.
Does it ever seem like no matter how much hairspray you use or even how long it takes to actually style your hair, it just doesn't seem like it stands a chance against that Carolina humidity? Your hair frizzes, it grows twice its normal size, and suddenly it has a mind of its own. So what's the deal? Why does humidity always seem to ruin a good hair day? Let's raise your weather IQ and break down the science behind the frizz. First, it's all about the moisture in the air. When you live in a humid climate like the Carolinas, there's a lot of moisture that makes it feel very humid or sticky during the summer months. That same muggy air determines how well your hair will cooperate. When looking at the forecast, keep a close eye on the dew point. The dew point is the true measurement of the moisture in the air. The higher it is, the more water vapor there is. In simpler terms, the more moisture, the less your hair will cooperate. Now the hair cast, it's worst June through August when Carolina humidity peaks. You'll likely have your best hair days October through March when the air is drier and more cooperative. But why does this impact our hair? A single hair strand has 3 parts, but the one most impacted is the cortex. It contains fragile hydrogen bonds that shape your hair. When your hair absorbs humidity, the hydrogen bonds break and reform, causing frizz and even extra volume. So, how do you fight back? Ironically, the more moisturized your hair is, the less it will frizz. That's because hydrated hair isn't as thirsty for the moisture in the air compared to dry hair that's just dying for water. With your weather IQ, I'm meteorologist Majestic Storm.
And Chris, you probably know this, but Becca, I know you do, the more porous your hair is, the bigger it gets, the frizzier it gets, and it's tough.
That's why I just cut 10 inches off of my hair for that very reason. And I'm sure Chris can relate.
Can you relate to that?
I actually can, because when I had my longer hair, it would just poof up. And
now I get to see a picture.
No, I'll show it to you. You'll be shocked. But also back in 3rd grade, I wanted to be like all the other kids because bowl cuts were in.
Yeah.
And my mom says you can't do it, and I did it, and I looked like Toad from Mario. I looked like a mushroom top because it was just so poofy.
See, mother knows best. But
Yeah.
I mean, that Carolina humidity is no joke for your hair.
A good hair day today and tomorrow, though.
I know.
So we'll take it.
Well, and that's the thing is, and Majestic wanted me to make a point here, is that we plan these in advance.
Right.
Because usually this time of year, you might not have been having a bad hair day, and we're not saying that's a bad thing, but this is an exception, an anomaly. So we're actually really lucky. We should be in the upper 60s for our dew points, so that would be closer to hair strand number 4 that you're seeing there from left to right. But no. Yeah, but no, instead we just have a slight curl at most, and that's mainly on Friday. So enjoy it. So it's going to be great hair days going forward. The frizz factor, not too bad. Oh, there's so many great things that come with some drier air. Now, you can get below 30 for a dew point, and that's almost too dry, but that typically happens during the winter time. And as I mentioned, we should be in the humid range for this time of year. Not the case. This is actually the lower 25 percentile for late August of what we typically feel like and have for that moisture content. But it's going to ramp right back up on Saturday and Sunday. But this time of year, you're going to have more of these comfortable days starting to pop up a little bit more. And this is a great time for me to get to some weather stats. I'm only showing you this once because likely over the next few days, we're actually going to fall down this list. So even though temperatures are still below normal, there is a chance that if we just drop down by 0.1 degrees for the warmest summers of Charlotte history, then it would actually bring us down to the 8th or 9th spot. So I'm just saying today, factoring in the temperatures yesterday and what we had for our lows as well, we are number 5, or at least in a three-way tie for number 5 for the 5th warmest summer, which, by the way, might be confusing for you because in meteorology, we don't do the Gregorian calendar thing that you don't know what day is it, the 23rd or the 24th or the 21st or 22nd when we change the season. We go by months. So that's going to be June, July, and August. So as soon as we hit September 1st, well, then we're keeping the fall records. So in the meteorological world, fall starts next week. And we were mentioning rapid intensification a little bit earlier on WCNC Plus. Becca and I were talking about it. This just popped up accidentally, so that's the reason why I'm covering it up. All right, let's move forward. Our rainfall chances are getting a little bit higher on your Saturday and your Sunday. And the reason why is because of a nearby front. So that nearby front is going to be down towards the south, and that's going to keep a better rain chance in South Carolina compared to North Carolina. So let's get right to it. At this point yesterday, we were noticing that rain could potentially ruin your Friday afternoon, but that is no longer the case. But as early as Saturday morning, we are seeing some signs of rain. Now, the problem with a long-range model like what you're looking at here is that the data's chunky. It's not detailed. So oftentimes you can have the entire state, as we are seeing right here, covered in rain, but that's not picking up that there's a big low-pressure system that's taking over. That just means that rain chances are around there. Now, areas in the yellow and the dark green represent a better chance for rain, and that's down in South Carolina. So what this is really showing us is that you have a chance for on and off showers and thunderstorms for the morning and Saturday afternoon, again heading into Sunday morning as well, and then we'll again have a chance for storms on Sunday afternoon, but then less of a rain chance for your Labor Day, and then I'll actually accelerate. This should be out of here for your Tuesday, Wednesday, for another round could roll in a little bit later on in the week. So our rainfall chances, not a surefire thing. By tomorrow, we'll actually be able to take a look at what the rain would look like on Saturday. We're just not quite there yet for the more trustworthy and more detail-oriented model data. Our 7-day forecast, mainly the lower 80s, so that's more typical for the second half of September, and that's what we're doing. The warmest temperature I have is 84 degrees, which is more mid-September-like, or the last week of summer-like. And then for your Labor Day, that's the best chance to have a dry grill. Keep that in mind. Should have more sunshine back in action for next Tuesday. High still in the lower 80s before we should be back to the mid to the upper 80s to end the week. Becca, take it away. What's going on for your traffic?
85 is just a real problem spot this morning. Now up to 3 active crashes on the interstates across the greater Charlotte area, including this one. This is a live view from 85 at Statesville Road. You can see those emergency vehicles blocking that left lane of traffic. So it's only one lane blocked, but traffic is being diverted to the rest of the lanes, and that is slowing things down. Still lots of red as you head out the door on this Wednesday morning, and here are all the active incidents we have across the area. So this is the crash that I mentioned. This is 85 and northbound over towards Statesville Road. Stretch of red there. Just a little bit up to the north, got a new crash. This is 85 southbound over towards W.T. Harris Boulevard that currently has 3 lanes of traffic blocked out. That's causing also a stretch of delays. In addition, Gaston County got that center lane blocked due to that crash on 85 northbound at Beatty Drive, also causing lots of delays. In addition, do have this incident. This is impacting westbound Harris Boulevard at University Hospital Drive. You can see those emergency vehicles on the scene, also causing some delays.
8:24 right now. Charlotte Douglas is bracing for big crowds this Labor Day weekend. Airport leaders expect some 850,000 passengers to fly through the airport between this Thursday and next Tuesday. Now, while you should plan to arrive early, you can also check parking, security, and shuttle wait times on the Charlotte Douglas app. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're going to have another update on weather and traffic in just 2 minutes, as well as the day's top headlines starting back at 8:30.
Well, good morning. Lots of us seeing blue sky. Check it over in Dallas. More clouds over Charlotte right now, but all of us will pretty much look like these skies, either a sunny to a mostly sunny one. More clouds close out the day. Temperatures warming up. We dropped down to 60 degrees in Charlotte, and many surrounding areas dropped in the 50s. Some of you still in the 50s. Boone, you're at 47 degrees. Muggy meter, don't worry about it. We are below that humid threshold for today. For tomorrow, but then that mugginess will start to ramp back up. Today's high is 81 degrees, picking up more clouds later on, heading through the evening. That's going to lead to a cloudier day for your Thursday. 84 degrees on Friday, and then a chance for on and off showers and storms for your Saturday and Sunday. As of right now, Saturday is the best chance for thunderstorms, and then Sunday we'll still have on and off rain starting in the morning, heading in the afternoon. Better chance of staying dry, though, for your Labor Day before drying out and warming up the middle of next week. Let's get over to Becca, who's doing traffic for us this morning. What's going on, my friend?
Still following this crash on 85 northbound at Statesville. You can see that left lane is currently blocked by an emergency vehicle as drivers are being merged onto the rest of the lanes, and it is slow moving out there, pretty much slow moving everywhere at the moment. These are the active crashes we have. 85 seeing more problems. This one on 85 southbound over towards University and W.T. Harris, just causing a real stretch of delays in a traffic jam, and including this one. We got the center lane blocked due to this crash. 85 northbound over towards Gastonia. This is causing lots of slowdowns in and around that area to avoid the area.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington. This morning, new literacy data is in the spotlight for CMS leaders, specifically how things are going for kindergarten through second graders. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live with the recent findings and why one of the district's more concerning metrics has nothing to do with the pages of a book. Destiny.
Yeah, CMS leaders are saying that these early literacy numbers are better than they were in previous years, but they point out that progress is going to depend on one key factor, and that's actually getting kids in the classroom each day. Superintendent Dr. Crystal Hill, she shared these new literacy numbers showing 72% of CMS kindergarten through second grade students were at or above reading benchmark last school year. That's a 5-point increase compared to 2 years ago. Kindergartners reached 77% and first graders 72%, both just shy of district targets. Second graders finished at 69%, missing their goal by only 1 percentage point. CMS board members say the upward trend is encouraging, with opportunities for growth still ahead.
Anything in literacy, there's always improvement, with word fluency and things of that nature. I think our team's doing a good job of identifying the areas that need to be improved.
However, CMS board members are still stressing that chronic absenteeism is what's standing in the way of stronger results. They believe that because students aren't getting in the classroom, it makes it harder for them to catch up. And they want to work directly with families this school year, early this school year, to try to remove any barriers to attendance. I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
So Destiny, you're saying that they want to work with parents early. Again, this is the third day for CMS students. How are they going to go about doing this?
Yeah, they highlighted at-home visits being something that they do, as well as identifying students that are at risk early on. Maybe they have previous years where they had, a poor attendance, or they might have a transportation issue that they can't get to school. And they also want to make this connection with early literacy because they want parents to be involved in this process. They want them to, help them with those early literacy numbers because that leads to future academic success. So if they can be in the classroom each day, it'll really help them to catch up.
For sure. I have a second grader, so I do know they need to read. All right, Destiny, thank you so much for that live report. Let's check back in with Chris now for more on our forecast on the pick of the week. He's just showing up. I mean, look at that camera.
I know, right? Pumped. Look at all that sunshine. We're going to be dealing with a sunny to mostly sunny sky, and the main reason why I even chose this day. Now, the pick of the week, I understand it's subjective, but there is a detailed formula. Just kidding, there's no formula. I usually go by whatever the best feeling looking day is, and oftentimes we have super humid days during the summertime. If there's one that is out of the norm, I'm talking about the lower percentile of that happening, it's pretty easy to choose that day. And that's exactly what we're looking at. Meanwhile, this is a gorgeous shot. It's up a beach mountain. So wherever you look, it is a beautiful day across the area. Now, there are a few more clouds right around the Charlotte area for the short term. 81 degrees is the high today, which, by the way, is more typical for September 22nd. And what happens on September 22nd? Yes, you are correct if you said the autumnal equinox, or aka fall begins. That's why I dramatized this with the falling leaves. Of course, we don't have our first falling leaves in Charlotte until around November or late October, early November. Now, the dog of the day status, I want to show you Molly May. This is brought to us by Melanie. I do this every day over on WCNC around 6:25. Well, we're bringing it to you right here on WCNC Plus for your dog walking forecast. You can anticipate that 63 jumps up to about 66, 70s most of the day, and then we'll get to around 80 to 81 by the mid to late afternoon, anywhere between about 3 and 5 o'clock. But sunshine should be the name of the game. But by the end of the day, we are picking up a few more clouds. Check out Dallas. Dallas is proving the pick of the week status, and 78 degrees for a high around Hickory, and then 82 degrees in Lancaster, 83 expected in Charlotte. I'll show this over and over again until it hits that humid range. This is showing today and tomorrow in the 50s and 40s for dew points. That is absolutely incredible because we're usually in the mid to the upper 60s, which is smack dab right in the middle of that humid bar. So how you feel? Oh, so nice. Today's the only day that stands out from the rest. Tomorrow, still no problem. It still feels great. It's cloudier though. And then Friday, even though it's warmer and it could be just as sunny as what we have this afternoon, it starts feeling sticky again. That's the only reason why I discounted the title of Pot W Pick of the Week. Our 7-day forecast showing that 84 will eventually slide back down to the lower 80s, 81 to 80, and then back to the lower to the mid 80s through the middle of next week. As for our rain chances, I'm going to go through a little bit more detail on these heading through the weekend. We still don't have a lot of clarity going on, but I'll tell you what's going on. It's not going to be a complete washout, but I'll show you those hour-by-hour rain chances coming up. But let's get right over to Becca, see how your morning commute is looking. Good morning.
Good morning. Rush hour traffic still in full swing out there, especially slow 77 northbound coming from York inbound into Mecklenburg County, as well as the inner loop of I-45 over towards Matthews. Just a few locations to name a few. Now, we do have this crash causing an extensive stretch of delays, 3 lanes blocked. This is 85 southbound near Mallard Creek Church Road and W.T. Harris Boulevard. We do have a live look from some of those backups there, indicating that stop and go traffic may want to seek an alternate route, especially if you are running late to work. In addition, Gaston County do still have that center lane blocked due to that crash 85 northbound near Beatty Drive, still causing some slowdowns there. Also, new crash on the board. This is Wilkinson Boulevard at Donald Ross Road. You can see some orange there indicating some slowdowns as well. And this incident still westbound Harris Boulevard at University Hospital Drive, blocking that right lane of traffic there.
Becca, thanks. 8:36 now. The city of Charlotte is starting its search for the next chief of police, and your input is wanted. Officials are asking the residents to take a public survey, a short survey, and share which qualities and priorities you want to see in the next chief. That survey is going to be open through next Friday, September 5th. You can find the link to the survey at the WCNC Charlotte app. We'll keep it right here. We're back in just 2 minutes. With kids back in school, it's almost a guarantee that more germs will be spreading. In North Carolina, more and more people are going to the emergency room for COVID symptoms since the start of July. That has many on social media wondering if those at-home COVID tests still work and where you can get them. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies.
Kids tend to bring germs home from the playground and classroom once they get back to school. So should you be stocked up with COVID tests? Let's verify.
Our sources, Dr. Onyinye Igbokwe with Novant Health and the Centers for Disease Control. Back to school season can be a peak time for families to get sick because more people are in the same building and sharing germs.
As the seasons change and we're all kind of clustered inside, late fall, winter time is usually peak. But we see a peak around this time though, because kids are getting back in school and all the germs are just kind of coming together and, mingling.
Do the most recent COVID tests work with the new strain? According to the CDC, at-home COVID tests look for antigens, which are a protein outside of the virus itself.
Because it's looking for those proteins, those don't really change too much with the variant. So the at-home tests have still been really great at testing people at home to see if they have COVID or to see if they don't.
Should parents be concerned about their access to at-home tests this season? Dr. Igbokwe says tests are available at most pharmacy chains.
I just try to tell people to make sure they get tests that are well known, usually FDA approved or WHO approved tests. So I really like the Binax Noun testing that you can get at most of the stores there because it's pretty much similar to the technologies that we use here in the office.
If you have any questions or concerns, contact your primary care physician. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
And if you have something that you would like verified, email us at verify@wcnc.com. This morning, ChatGPT hit with a scathing new lawsuit by a couple who says the software helped their 16-year-old son die by suicide. That lawsuit says the bot offered to write a draft of his suicide note and even gave specific methods. The family also claims it isolated him from relatives. They are seeking financial damages and a court order that would require OpenAI to verify the age of its users.
He would be here but for ChatGPT. I 100% believe that.
Sam could have devised ChatGPT to simply stop the interactions right away. It actually encouraged, it egged Adam along.
He was using it in ways that I had no idea was possible. I don't think most parents know the capability of this tool.
In a statement, the company expressed sympathy and explained how it's working on incidents like this, specifically by strengthening safeguards and introducing parental controls. Of course, if you or someone you know is in crisis, help is available 24/7. Call or text 988. Well, it's time for us to connect the dots. That's when we make the news make sense. A new report shows more women than ever facing health risks that could impact pregnancy. Experts say many of them can be reduced with simple changes. A CDC report finds most women under age 50 have at least one risk factor that could increase the chance of birth defects. Let's connect the dots. Researchers looked at national health data and found that more than 90% of women in this age group had something that raised the risk. The most common factor is obesity. About 1 in 3 women fall into that category. Other risks include smoking, drinking alcohol, having diabetes, or not getting enough folic acid before pregnancy. The CDC says these risks are preventable. Losing weight, managing diabetes, quitting smoking or alcohol, and taking prenatal vitamins can all make a difference. Doctors stress that women don't have to wait until pregnancy to start. Making healthy changes now lowers risks for both moms and babies later. And that's connecting the dots. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're back in 2 minutes with an update on weather and traffic. This Friday marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans. Now, 2 decades later, Louisiana is still trying to solve the problems that contributed to that catastrophe. Brad Hicks takes you to the state's new line of storm defense.
Along the coast of Louisiana,
most of this was open water
You can walk on what, for years, has been water.
Hurricane Katrina was a wake-up call.
In the decades before the big storm, Louisiana had lost a lot of land, about the size of Delaware. Subsidence and manipulations to the Mississippi River ate away at the coastline.
Then you have saltwater intrusion that's killed all the aquatic vegetation, killing all the oak trees.
By the time Hurricane Katrina hit, the state's natural buffer to the sea had been decimated. The storm surge funneled unchecked through a shipping channel built 50 years before.
So really, Hurricane Katrina exposed that vulnerability.
In that channel, a welded cross now honors the victims, and a nearly 2-mile-long wall protects the city. But even the arsenal of concrete and steel built since the storm cannot do the job alone.
Rebuilding that natural buffer in front of the levees is really important for helping protect the city.
These piles of mud are part of the solution. Louisiana is creating 2,700 acres of new land, the biggest project like this in state history.
We have to think big because that matches the size and scale of the challenges.
Mud dredged from the bottom forms the footprints for these new wetlands. The natural buffers will slow storm surges before they reach the levee system. But they also do something steel and concrete cannot. They create opportunity, habitat, and healing.
The shrimpers, the crabbers, the oyster fishermen, those don't exist without this estuary, one of the largest, most important estuaries in the world.
It's emotional when you're able to come out and see new land that you could literally walk out and stand on where it was once open water. It's huge.
In southern Louisiana, Brad Hicks reporting.
Great report there. So I usually would talk about the tropics and kind of do a tie-in here, but I want to get right to a stat that I just found. I'm super excited about it. I think I'm the only one that's excited about this, except for Becca here in this room, is that our dew points right now at 54 are low. And I was trying to find the exact average dew point that we usually have in August. Well, it's around 67. And we spiked to only the 50s yesterday. But what's really interesting is at one point we had a dew point of 50 degrees. That is so low. But I went back to the data as far as dew points are kept, and that's 1941. So we're talking about World War II. Well, this has only happened 6 times. So we've only been this dry, the atmosphere this dry, 6 times in Charlotte history since 1941. So this really puts it into perspective about how rare that this type of value is. And I was also looking at some of the dew points and how low they went yesterday. It's actually the lower 5 percentile about where this is. So the reason why that today is the pick of the week isn't just because, hey, it looks pretty. It's just because it is unusually dry. And there's even a chance we could drop further below that point. So keep that in mind. Our dew points could drop further than where they're at, and if they hit the 40s, we're talking about maybe even only 3 or 2 times that we've been down into the 40s that low. So pretty astronomical as far as how rare an event like this is. Today is the pick of the week also because it stands out from all the rest, because already by tomorrow we're racing towards 60 degrees. That's that sticky range. Once you get to Friday and Saturday, you are feeling a lot more of this moisture content. So fun sharing that fact with you that this is so rare to be this dry and feel this great for this time in August, because it is still summer, y'all. Our 7-day forecast, 84 for your Friday, and then mainly in the lower 80s over the next 7 days. Best chance for rain Saturday night, and through your Sunday. Let's get over to Becca to talk about traffic. Oh, that was fun.
All right, still got problems there. 85 at Statesville. This is on those northbound lanes. What appears to be now 2 lanes of traffic blocked off. We do have crews on the scene, but this is causing lots of slowdowns in and around that area, so do keep that in mind. In addition, 85 southbound over towards Mallard Creek Church Road also has 3 lanes of traffic blocked off due to a crash. You can see that stretch of red there, and that will likely add about 10 to even 20 minutes extra to that morning commute. Now, I do want to let you know this crash has been clearing. This is 85 northbound over towards Gaston County near Beatty Drive, but it is still slow moving if you're headed from Gaston inbound into Mecklenburg County. Also, this crash starting to clear. This is Wilkinson Boulevard at Donald Ross Road. And this one inbound Beatty's Ford Road at Dundee Street got this active crash, what appears to be blocking 2 lanes of traffic and a big pileup of cars behind it. This incident still causing some delays westbound Harris Boulevard at University Hospital Drive. You can see that right-hand lane there is currently blocked off.
Trending this morning, Taylor Swift is getting married. Check it out. The music icon got engaged to her longtime boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. She posted the announcement on social media yesterday. Emilio Fabiano reports on the reaction from fans and some experts.
So it's going to be forever. America's own royal couple is finally engaged.
4 people texted me about it, and then I looked at it. We were getting gas, and it was at 170K likes, and 20 minutes later, it was at 5 million likes. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
T Swift and Travis Kelce playfully captioning their announcement post on Instagram. Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married.
That means that what she's doing is intimately bound up with the discipline that we call English and with English teaching, and it's also just funny.
Reaction already pouring in all across the internet. The NFL posting the pics to X along with congratulations to Travis and Taylor.
This is the kind of wedding where every detail will be intentional, but it's also going to be incredibly complex.
Will she have a New England wedding? Her $18 million Rhode Island mansion would make a pretty good venue.
There's been construction going on in her house for the last couple months, and the local buzz around Westerly is that, oh, I wonder if this has anything to do with an upcoming wedding.
But it might make more sense if the two go somewhere less recognizable to tie the knot.
I'm not sure that this home offers the privacy that she would really require for an event like this.
And no more paper rings here. How about that rock?
Huge. Holy crap. I thought it was a Super Bowl ring when I first looked at it, and now I realize it's, of course, what she deserves nothing less. So
safe to say, no matter what the wedding day brings, whenever this thing's going to be, it's a love that's looking like forever and always.
Her wedding is going to be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I already know it.
I love how so many people have so many thoughts about it.
I know. Well, I think a lot of people didn't think they were actually going to make it through.
Right.
So very excited. I'm sure her hand is going to be a little sore.
You think? It's huge. I just can imagine what that is like for her. One, the stardom of just being who you are, the pop star Taylor Swift. But now people want to know every single detail of something that's kind of personal.
Yeah. Well, if you watch their New Heights podcast episode, which of course I did, you could see the chemistry between them and the love that they have. So this was like Christmas morning for me.
I believed it, and I know a lot of people had doubts of Taylor because she had a lot of different relationships, but this one was different. Only just because, like, I'm not sure if you ever heard back in the day, there was a chance that they were already dating at this point, but Travis went to one of her concerts and gave her a friendship bracelet with his number on it.
Yes.
So little signs like that. I think that they have enough in common but their opposites almost kind of bring them together because the opposites attract, but of course you have to have that middle ground.
Yes, you definitely need something. And I'll be honest, I didn't think they were going to make it, but not because of her. I thought because of him.
Oh.
I thought he was going to mess it up somehow.
I was not convinced, but I'm happy for them. What do they say? If they like it, I love it. So congrats to them.
And this isn't a confirmed source. Literally, my wife just looking it up on the internet. So, but it's estimated that ring could be as much as $5 billion.
That's nice.
As it should be.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another update of weather and traffic. And then our own Jane Monreal, you see her there, the bottom left of our screen, is going to take over from our Impact studio. She's going to be talking to a veterinarian about helping pets deal with pain, as well as all of the live breaking events as they happen across our area and the nation, right here on WCNC Plus.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're warming up nicely, 68 degrees. Look at that. Beautiful blue sky. We're dealing with a little bit more cloud cover across Charlotte, but we'll start to erode that. So all in all, today's a sunny to a mostly sunny one. We'll pick up more clouds by the end of the day. Temperatures either side of 80 degrees. We're anticipating a high of 81 for today. This is my pick of the week, and next week we have a very similar day on Tuesday. Lower 80s feeling great as well. 84 looks to be the top with a mostly sunny sky. Next best chance for rain, sadly, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Becca, take it away.
All right, if you do one thing this morning, avoid I-85. Got 3 still active crashes, but do have some good news. This one just moved to the shoulder. This is I-85 at Statesville, those northbound lanes. You can see right on the right-hand side of your screen there, that accident is currently on the shoulder, so all lanes of traffic are open, but a little bit further up to the north and east. Still of this crash, 85 southbound near Mallard Creek Church Road, blocking at least 1 to up to 3 lanes of traffic. This one's still clearing in Gaston County, 85 northbound near Beatty Drive.